everyone. Hello, Dami. Hello, Captain Oliver Anson. Oluwatobi Olaniro. Hello to everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we just give like 3 to 5 minutes to see anybody that will be joining before we commence the class fully today. I know we have. Let me share the first screen. I stole this from somewhere. Can you guys see it? I hope you guys can see it. So this is somebody. This is Captain Afolabi preparing. Captain Afolabi preparing for orals. If you see the wall, you can see the wall. You can see the wall.
That's what we go through. I'm sure Captain Tayo's one was even more intense than this.
No, for me, I think my reading, because I'm not a very bright person, I have to say. I have to read a lot, a couple of times before I get it. So I have the blue rules of the road book, that small one. I always have it in my pocket everywhere. So even if you go to club or something, I have it. So if I see any small light, I just open it, rule 1 or rule 2. I just have to keep reading it. That's the way it stays. Basically.
No. Most of the things on that wall were rules of the road, MGN regulation, because I wanted to remember all of them word for word. So I just, if I'm trying to forget it, I look at the wall and I try to remember them.
So I saw the picture. I felt, let me just share. Let me share
no,
that.
It looks scary. People like, this is what I have to go through. No, you don't have to go.
No, they have to go through it. Don't lie. The people have to go through it, and that's it. It's just for that period. It's not for eternal. It's just for that period. There's a lot of pressure, and again, as I say, it's the difference between coal and diamond. Pressure.
Yeah.
So people have to be ready to admit that, to take that pressure in. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes. No, not a problem. Let me see. We have whoever I know. Jimo John, welcome. I don't know. I think Oliver's gone out. Solomon, welcome. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for going on mute. Yeah. So today will be quite interesting. I plan we will. Again, I think this is for Captain Messiah. I think what I'm trying to do is to get us, get everybody into the basics, the beginning of it, so that when they go and read the books by themselves, they have the interest, if you understand what I mean. So that's what I'm trying to do, to get the basics, because at the end of the day, everybody has different learning styles. Everybody has, so, but if they like the subject, then it is easy to learn it. A lot of people don't like maths simply because they don't like their maths teacher. So I hope people will like me. Maybe, I will see. I will see if they like me. It depends on the offering I can get after the whole session. So once you like it and see that it's not difficult, but we have to put the effort, then they can read it by themselves, and towards that period we can do straight question and answer, and everybody will be on sports. So that's my intention. Yeah. So Judith Nahala, welcome. Bele, welcome. Galaxy Note 5, what's your name? Can we know the full name? Techno Phantom 9, who is that? Change your name. Just edit it to your name so that we know who you are. Yeah, if you understand. Captain Oliver, welcome. So, Bele, I think you might need to click. There's something you might need to click so that you can use your audio. If not, you will not be able to speak. Yeah, that's it. All right, so Galaxy Note 5, who is that? Can you change your name so I know who you are? Yep. Okay. So we have 1 minute more, then we will we will start the class. I hope it won't stay for too long today. Two of our participants last week, they are actually flying in from, I think, South Korea or something. So they won't be able to join today, but the recorded section will be online again. And they will be. Captain Oliver, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Captain Oliver.
Do you have your bottle of whiskey with you or beer?
You know me, I don't drink now, so
Me too.
I just drink water.
Me too. That's what all of us. Yes, me too. I'm drinking water. All right. Okay. So we have 12 people. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Asa. Good evening. Good evening. All right, Captain Oliver, we will have to schedule your own day as well. I don't know if Tuesday is convenient. If not, maybe also you might want to do like Captain Busayo that does the oral prep one-on-one. We will discuss that after the class as well, so we'll know how you will do it. So Captain Busayo does one-on-one with people. What we are discussing is how other people that are not going to be on the hot seat can just listen in, so they can be part of it but listen to like an oral prep one-on-one. So yes, we will discuss more of this and we will share this information with everybody. So yes, first thing, if let's say it's our time, we have to be on time. So right, let's so everybody see the picture I'm sharing now. It is the picture of Captain Busayo, Afolabi Busayo, when he was preparing for his orals, class 1 orals. It looks very interesting, as you can see. And on his wall, that's a lot of, what's it called? Rules of the road and all that, MGNs and all that, okay? So yeah, just an interesting picture I found on the link on his LinkedIn, and I decided to. So I said this week I will be dropping a quick one on what I would say my appreciation goes to 2 people that are very instrumental in my learning in the early times. And Captain Oliver might know some of them. I don't know if you would remember them. So yes, one of them is called Captain Edgar Anderson. So if you are on board the ship at the moment and you check your bridge procedure guide, there's a captain there with the binoculars on his face. That's Captain Edgar Anderson. I had him when I was a cadet, and he was very, very interesting. You must learn the rules of the road word for word. So we do the rules of the road with him every Saturday. Every Saturday, rules of the road, myself and some the other cadet, Joseph Okoche and all that. So word for word, we had to learn it. The other captain is Gare Bratland. He says this: I don't like good, I love best. You know, so he doesn't like it when you're good. He wants you to be best. So those 2 guys are my appreciation for this week. I think they were more or less instrumental in what I did. All right, and what I've become today. So going straight to, we had a question on the group over the week. I don't know if anybody noticed it. It's on
Cyclone.
yes, cyclone and anticyclone. All right.
Cyclone. Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, cyclone and anticyclone. So has anybody done a research on this? Anybody has an answer to this now? Cyclone, anticyclone. No? No? Okay. 2 people waiting in the room again. Admits. All right. So somebody needs to be mute. Let me try and do that so that we are having some background noise. Okay, I think I should be able to mute all, right? Mute all participants. Okay. Mute. Okay, that was Chinedu. So I've done that. Okay. So yes, so we go to the question, cyclone and anticyclone. So these are very simple. They're very simple, actually. They're not difficult. So cyclones are with low pressure. So this is how easiest way to remember it. Cyclones, remember low pressure. So when you have low pressure, there's a air mass that goes around the low pressure, okay? And that air mass around the low pressure is what we refer to as a cyclone, that forms a cyclone. Now, in the low pressure in the north hemisphere, let me write that as NH, they move in an anti-clockwise direction. So clockwise direction. And so if you understand the drawing, so in the north hemisphere, they move in an anti-clockwise direction. However, the low pressure itself, so when it becomes like a TRS, tropical revolving storm or something, the low pressure, LP, moves in a clockwise direction. So the hair is an inward, it moves inward, to create more of this. There's an inward to feed the low pressure. So yeah, it moves in a anti-clockwise direction. However, the system itself moves in a clockwise direction in the north hemisphere. Now, is the opposite, is the reverse in the south hemisphere. So you should be able to get that picture. So, but get the north, then it's easy for you to get the south. Now, anticyclone is opposite. So when something is low pressure, automatically it means you're talking about high pressure when you talk for anticyclone. Now, in the north hemisphere for anticyclone, let me type this so that we can, at least you can, people reading might see. Can you see my screen? If you cannot see my screen and you're using the phone, you need to scroll or swipe to your right so that you see the first screen, all right? That's where you'll be able to see the screen I'm typing on. So anticyclone is the air mass moving around, or that process of moving around the high pressure area. Last week we talked about the pressure patterns on the Earth, roughly. So yeah. So we have that anticyclone. In the north hemisphere of an anticyclone in north hemisphere moves the air. The air actually is an outward moving air mass, and they go clockwise. Now, I prefer to have an anticyclone rather than to have a cyclone anyway. Most people will, because when you have an anticyclone here, high pressure area, it comes to you have good weather, this lovely, beautiful skies and all that. So for most of us at sea, we are concerned about cyclones, low pressure. So I would like anybody, let me ask for volunteers first before I nominate anyone, to tell me the formation of a TRS, tropical revolving storm. Yeah. So in short, TRS. So does anybody in the house can tell me something about TRS, the formation of a TRS? Let's even start with that.
Yeah.
Low pressure. Who is speaking?
Yeah, this is Solomon.
Solomon, please go ahead. TRS.
Okay. So the TRS forms between the northern hemisphere, that's from 5 degrees to about is it 12 or 15 degrees?
Okay.
North.
Okay.
And it's usually over. It starts from the outward wind that's from the shore towards the sea, and then it gains momentum, and then starts expanding. So as it expands, it feeds. It's more or less like the anticyclone, and as it feeds the. I'm just trying to put it in a more in a simpler way.
Yep. Okay, I think you have gone to when you already have a TRS. I'm trying to look
Basically,
at what do you how does a TRS form? You know, what makes a TRS to occur? Some call it hurricane, some call it typhoon, depends on the language. So what makes it form? That's my first thing. How does it form? How does it start? So you have mentioned above 5 degrees. Yes, I take that on board. So between anything above 5. And now, does anybody know why below 5 we don't have TRSs? We're going to be fast on this because we don't want to take too much time. Okay, so let me do this. I will just explain it. So yes, above 5 degrees, north, south, all right? Below that, between that 5 degrees north to 5 degrees south, you know, the Earth is spherical, right? But those places, due to the rotation of the Earth and the proximity, the equator, is considered almost like a straight line. That's the easiest way to look at it. The curves are not that obvious. So anything above 5 degrees, yes. And because the curves are not obvious, then the effect of Coriolis force is very, very minimal at those places. So you don't have TRSs form easily below 5 degrees north and above 5 degrees south, if you understand what I mean. So that means you have that margin, 5 degrees north, 5 degrees south. You really don't have TRS forms. Now, there are exceptions. There are 1 or 2 that has happened there. That's one. Another thing that you need to form a TRS is you need the water temperature to be above, water temp to be above 26 degrees. So when you have water temperatures above 26 degrees, it's warm, okay? This is latitude, so anybody writing. 26 degrees, that's warm. Then what else do we need? We need to have some form of disturbance. So if you look at, let me use an example of probably you're driving on a smooth road and all of a sudden you encounter a, maybe a pothole, a very deep pothole, you know, that kind of disturbance. So there's a need for some disturbance and that triggers it. That just triggers it. So that disturbance, it could be something else, you know, something in the atmosphere. It could be something will just form the disturbance. So those 3 things are very key. Above 5 degrees latitude, water temperature of 26 degrees, and a form of disturbance, you know, and that will start. The Coriolis force, because it's above 5 degrees, would help it to continue, you know. So we mentioned a bit about Coriolis force last week, I believe. So that is how you form, that's how simple terms, simplest of terms, how a TRS is formed. Now, of course, something is important. I think maybe you made a mistake. You said anticyclone. It's actually cyclone. It's a low pressure. So we need an area of low pressure. So low pressure. On the ship, I used to tell my officers to watch out for the barometer reading. You know, they write the barometer reading every hour or every 2 hours or every 4 hours. And we want to see like there's a dip of pressure. So once you have a dip of pressure, that indicates something, you know. How are we going close? Are we going into this? Are we in the area as well? Because sometimes it's not what you see out there. Things might be ahead of you or coming behind you. So the pressure is very, very important. Now, a quick one already. So let's just start having the assignments. So now I've told you the 3 things you need to get a TRS. So your assignment, I put that here somewhere, is the stages. Stages. TRS, in TRS. Also, I would want you to look at the direction of travel in the TRS, okay? Direction of travel. And this is the direction of travel of the TRS. They differ in North Hemisphere and South Hemisphere. And also, you're in the direction of the ship, the movement, recommended. So if you find yourself close to a TRS, how do you escape? Direction of travel, movement, recommended movement, ship movement.
Yeah, there are some recommendations on the Mariner's Handbook on how to go about it in the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere.
Somebody's been reading Mariner's Handbook. Tell us, tell us, please.
Well, for you to know that you are ahead of it, once you observe that the pressure starts dropping rapidly, which means you are ahead or you're in front of, or the TSS is approaching towards you, and where you have steady pressure, that you are on the, sorry, excuse my manners, I've forgotten some of the.
It's all right.
I haven't really read it yet, but I can still remember it.
You can still remember.
Once we are behind, the pressure starts increasing. Basically, what you need to do is, at no point should you be anywhere close to the eye, because the eye is one of the most dangerous places that you want to find yourself.
Are you sure it's the most dangerous place, or is it the most peaceful place? Is it?
Well, the skies are clear, but you have mountainous waves in the eye.
Okay, all right. Well, interesting.
You can check the Mariner's Handbook, is there.
Interesting. So no. The
eye is the most dangerous place, because
this is your own assignment, not mine.
Forward of the TRS, you have confused waves. The only thing is that you have lots of poor visibility, showers, and all that. But in the eye, you have in the eye you have clear skies. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, please.
So this is your assignment, and I'm happy you've taken the initiative to start reading into it. So what I've done is three things to say how this thing is formed. Okay. Now you know how it's formed. Everybody in the class can understand what triggers a TRS. It's now left for us to say, okay, I know how it's formed, and let me now read into it. So you see, before we go into the questioning proper, I try to do the introduction, okay? Now, our assignment is what I mean is the direction of travel, yes. How does the TRS move in the North Hemisphere? And when you are there, as you rightly said, if you're ahead of it, if you're starboard of it, if you're port side of it, I would like to know all those things as well. If if it's astern of you or whatever. So what do you do to your ship? Do you move port starboard, and all that? So I would like to see this drawn out, and we will share this as a form of assignment. But at least people get the concept of this TRS. What is this TRS that we're talking about? So yes. So this is from the weather patterns we did last week. Anybody that has not seen the video, you can check online. And now you see what requires low pressure above 5 degrees latitude, water temperature of 26 above, and a natural disturbance. We have TRS is formed. Okay. And now once you now do the TRS, stages in TRS, travel, direction of travel, north side or south, north hemisphere, south hemisphere, and your ship's movement. Okay, so that is that brief one on meteorology for today, because we have very short time. And I've also mentioned that why we don't have below 5 degrees Coriolis force, right? Now, one of the things that make TRS interesting or possible is also a very key important point, is that the wind. So yes, this thing is about to start. If there's a lot of wind, the wind will blow it off, and it's not allow it to form or to get stronger. So when there's weak wind in the area, it will allow the whole system to build up and become a monster. Okay, so your navigation in the TRS is what I will be also looking forward to. Now let's move on quickly into arrow, right? So before we do that, let me just write something about weak wind. So anybody copying it, you can see weak wind in the area, in the top part, you know. So that's that. Okay. So I'm going to change the screen briefly, and I said people should come with their your radar plotting sheets. So I said people should come in with their radar plotting sheet. So let me change the screen and share another screen. Now, where's my radar plotting sheet? You don't have your radar plotting sheet? Very good. Very, very good. I got the radar plotting sheet anyway, so let me see what's happening to my radar plotting sheet. So we're going to go into rule 2 anyway today, but I just wanted us to be familiar with the radar plotting sheet as well, because we'll be edging into rule 19 as time goes as well. We don't have too much time. Okay. Okay, so that's a radar plotting sheet. And I would recommend that even if you have your upper on the ship, just try and get this thing out. Practice it and, you know, put your ship's course once in a while. Even if you're on standby on the field and you have security boats around, bring this thing out. Feel it as if you're practicing, okay? Put the whole thing there, give your ship some speed. Yeah, you're on standby, give it up to 4 knots, so nobody will complain too much for about an hour, and check, you know, get one of the two security boats and practice this, okay? Practice always makes perfection, so you would not get better if you don't practice it. So yeah, okay, so give yourself time, give yourself the range, and make the mistake now, because it's expensive to make the mistake in class. You're spending money, you're losing money, so we need to make that mistake now, if you understand what I mean, okay? And I think the best thing to do is to start with this while you're on board. So we will be sharing some radar plotting questions on, you know, theory questions on the page, on the group as well. So, but you need to practice this. And this is very simple. You have to remember your WOWA line. If you have problems with it, these are very simple things to remember, but I want us to start to prepare now, okay? Now, let's quickly go to rule 2. I think rule 2 is the next rule we're going to touch today. Yeah, and radar plotting sheets, if you don't have it, I said it on the group, download it online. There are free ones you can download online, so it's not like no rocket science, guys. Okay, so stop share again, and I'll share my rule 2. Rule 2 is interesting. I know people have read rule 2. This is a very simple rule. We did rule 1 last week. Sorry if you're not there, please check the video and you can see rule 1. Rule 1 is very interesting. I'm a fan of knowing the rules word for word. I said something in the group. Don't argue or don't be bothered about why you need to know the rules word for word. Just know it and all will be fine. Okay, a lot of people felt, what's this guy saying? All right, rule 2. Nothing in this rule, simple, shall exonerate any vessel or the owner, master or crew thereof from the consequence of any neglect to comply with these rules, or the neglect of any precaution which may be required by the ordinary practice of seamen or by special circumstance of the case. Now, in summary, if people that saw my oral reports, that was in 2008, I was lucky to pass my rules. If you read it, if you read it line for line, you will see where the mistake happened. The examiner asked a question. I had 22.5. I thought it was a trick question, but if he said 25. So we argued it out, and he said, okay, go out, come back, and it's going to be the rules of the road. So when I went back in, it was real grilling on rules of the road. And I don't like to sound proud, but if I didn't know the rules, it would have been, sorry, come back later. Now, rule 2, what does A mean? Obey the rules. If you don't comply with the rules, nothing, that you cannot be exonerated, just obey the rules. There's no, the consequences of not obeying is you will be at fault. There's no ship that is 100% guilty. Obey the rules. If the rule says go to port, go to port. If starboard, go to starboard. It's as simple as that. Now, also, when you're doing it, ordinary parts of seamen, special circumstances, do you need to take action on time? You don't want to be in close quarter situation. You don't want to say, sorry, I cannot alter anymore. You have to be professional. And that's one of the things I will try and talk about today. Be professional at work as well. So that's the practice of seamen, good practice of seamen. Special circumstances of the case. Look outside the window. Don't just be a radar monkey. Look outside. Actually have a physical look. What's happening? Yes, the radar is this, but maybe the guy is already not under command, and you see some signals. So look at it. Are they drilling? Can they move? I've had situations whereby 2 tankers, super tankers, are doing STS operation, and they are on the port side. A vessel saw them on the port side. They are doing STS operation, and it felt, well, they're drifted, and it felt, well, if they're on port side, they have to give clear. That's according to the rules. And he kept his course and speed. The 2 tankers had to go full astern to avoid collision, doing STS. So what is all that? So now the B part, in constraining and complying with the rules, due regard shall be had to all dangers of navigation and collision, and to any special circumstances, including the limitation of the vessel involved, which may make a departure from this rule necessary to avoid immediate danger. What does the B say? A say you must comply. B say if you think not complying will save you from collision, then don't comply. Don't follow the rules, because don't collide. So rule 2 is don't collide rule. If you collide because you're following the rule, you're responsible. If you collide because you're not following the rule, you're responsible. So do not collide. And that's why I will tell people you're not... Okay, you're swearing. Don't swear yet. It's all right. So don't, that's it. Whatever happens, I have to say, I've been in accidents before on ships, okay? It's not the most interesting thing that you want to happen to you, but it has happened, and these things happen. And it helps us, to build courage, to build experience. And that's why sometimes you tell your younger officers and say, don't do this. But they feel like, nah, and all that. So it's a big pressure when you have this accident. It's a big pressure. I didn't have, it's not about collision, but of course you guys will understand the job, special circumstance of our jobs. When you're on DP and all that, you can have failures and all that. So yes, it's a big pressure for the captain, it's a big pressure for the officers, it's a big report writing now. We don't want to be in that place. So rule 1, follow the rules. If you don't know the rules, you cannot follow it. Then again, I ask you, who are you to say your interpretation of the rule? What's your interpretation? In the academic world, if you don't, even when you have a PhD, I'm not sure you can reference yourself. You have to reference authority. So just imagine someone going for class 3 and say, I want to use my own words. What's your words? Who cares about your words? Sorry to say, but that's the truth. So please know the rules so you can follow it, and B says, if you realize that following the rules will cause an accident, then don't follow the rules. Okay. I have an example, personal example. We were doing tanker offtake on one of the fields offshore Nigeria. And yes, we were pulling this tanker. This is not rules of the road, but it's just basic common sense I'm trying to give example of. And this small craft probably did not know there's a towing wire between us and this tanker. She was coming at full speed. Now, my job was to keep these tankers from touching each other. You know, I'm following the rules of the tow master and all that. But I realized we were going to lift up this boat. You know, she's just going to fly. Probably the propeller will be out. It's going to become a big mess at the end of the day. So nobody told me. I used my overriding authority for safety to slack, you know, to just move a little astern, so that at least, because we were calling this boat, she wasn't on the radio. She could safely navigate away from this danger. Then I can pull back slowly again. You know, in that process, the tow master said, "What's going on?" I said, "Yeah, sorry, I had to do this quickly. I had no time to inform you." So yes, it's me going away from the rules, sort of, but to avoid immediate danger. So yes, please, rule 2 is very simple. Follow the rules to avoid the problem. Don't follow the rules to avoid the problem. I think that's a very interesting rule, and it's not very difficult. So again, we go straight to the next assignment for next week, guys. Guess what? Yes, you guessed right. Rule 3. So please, guys, you need to understand rule 3 very well. Let me tell you where the tricky part is. You see, this power-driven vessel, it's clear. It's very clear in what it means, because there are parts of the rules later on that they will be saying power-driven vessels and not just vessels. So, example is a vessel constrained by a draft, for example. So, will be what? What's a vessel constrained by a draft? Means a power-driven vessel. Okay? Underway, a vessel. Other things, a vessel. Means vessel restraining ability means a vessel. All right? You see why the definitions are very, very important. So, will a sailing vessel be? Can a sailing vessel be constrained by a draft? You know, those are where pitfalls where people don't really put an eye during exams, because there's tension and all that. But so a sailing vessel would not be under the rules constrained by a draft, because she's not a power-driven vessel. So please, guys, without saying too much, rule 3 is next. Let us learn this rule, write it out, read it, sing it, whatever. Just know this, this rule 3. Okay. So for next week, rule 3. Now, I want us to do something. I want us to have a quick exercise on rules of the road before our time is up, so that we at least take something away today as well from the class. Excuse me. So who is going to be my volunteer for today? Let me see who I have not mentioned. Let me just call somebody out. Okay, Judith, are you in? Can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself, Judith? Hello, Judith, can you unmute yourself? All right, how are you, Judith?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, thank you very much. So we're going to have a quick rules of the road question, all right? So you, on your radar, you can see an object. You pick an object on your radar, on your 2 points on your starboard bow. What action will you take?
Come again, you're breaking a bit.
Okay, on your radar, you sight an object on your radar, 2 points on your starboard bow. Action.
Can you hear me?
No, I did not hear you. Are you giving us an answer? Okay, let's move to someone else. If you cannot hear me, I'll mute you. They'll move to someone else. All right. Let me find someone else. So, Chinedu, are you here?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I hear you clearly, sir.
So you have a vessel, 2 points on your radar. Yeah, 2 points starboard bow. What action will you take?
2 points on my starboard bow. That
Yes.
means I think she's crossing, and I can sight the red light. So definitely I will be the giveaway vessel, and she will be the standby.
Okay. So where did you get the red light from? And why did you say she's crossing?
2 points. 2 points on my starboard bow. 2 points on my starboard bow. That means she's definitely somewhere before my beam.
Okay, let me share the
beam of
radar.
me.
Let me share the radar plotting sheet. Maybe that will be helpful. Okay. So let's say we are on this 000. Okay. And I don't know, can I edit this? And uses your heading, and she's somewhere here. You can see her here, where the mouse is. Let me see if I can edit this. So yeah, that's it. That's a target. What action will you take, sir?
I will if I will, first of all, determine if there is a collision, if a collision exists.
How will you do so?
Determine my CPA from her.
How will you do so? How will you know if it exists?
Yes, I will take the bearing. If the bearing and the speed of the target is not changing,
so
I will know it's.
How do you do that? Just tell me, how do you do it? You've seen this. This is all the examiner has given to you. And it's asked for your action.
Yeah. Action. I will determine first if there is a collision. If there is a collision exists.
Okay, stop there.
Then it's either I reduce my speed or
Stop there. How do you determine if collision exists from this?
If collision exists, for me to determine if collision exists, that means that I have to check that is the distance, that is the bearing, and the speed is consistent.
Okay,
and it's not changing appreciably.
So what do you mean by is consistent? Okay, so pause. All right, pause. Don't worry. This is better. We do it here than there. All right. So pause. Solomon, are you there? Solomon. No. Okay. Let me see. People should not be.
Yeah, Captain. Sorry, my network is terrible here. It keeps going on and off.
Okay, but are you with us? Did you follow the question, right?
No. It just kept on taking me in and out.
Okay, so can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Hello?
Okay, maybe you cannot see the screen. All right, so let's go to Oluwatobi Olaniran. Are you here?
Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Okay, Solomon, I've muted you. So yeah, Toby, can you see that you've been following the question, right?
Very correct, sir.
All right. So what are your actions? Well, you've seen this, and what's your action now?
All right, I'll check the bearing from my vessel.
Okay.
I'll check if
I've given you a bearing. Yeah, it's there on the screen. So we are heading 000, and that is it. Yeah. Next.
So I'll check if she's still moving, but if she's not, I'll keep up to my heading.
So how do you know if
she's still moving towards?
How will you know if she's still moving?
I'll check her speed and I'll check her.
How will you check? How will you check her speed?
Just place my cursor on the.
Okay, all this you're cheating. So okay, now guys, let me take you through what I would expect.
Hello.
Let me take you through what I would expect you to do. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, that's you take for that bearings.
You take for that bearings. All right. So now, for the purpose of everybody, Solomon,
Yes.
your network is not so great. So just wait. Let me mute you for now. All right. So let me just talk through it. So for next time, everybody will know. So we can round off. You have just one target. You cannot make a decision based on one target. Assumption shall not be made on basis of scanty information. That is Zano Rule 7C. This is scanty information. Just one target is dangerous. You don't know what it is yet. So you need to take another, give it time, maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Take another series of compass bearing, another one. So you take another one, say like this. And 2. Is 2 enough? For me, not really. I would like to take 3. Best of 3. All right. So this is me talking to the examiner that, oh, yes, I will need to ascertain if there's risks of collision. I will take 3. I would like to take 3, targets. 3 compass bearings. So with this, I can know if she's still moving or not. So we assume that let me see if I can change the color. I like green. So we assume that we were this. That was our ship's heading. So I can transfer this to this part, inverse, almost the same. And I will, let me use, which color? Orange. I like orange. I don't like red. Okay. And what is this point? This point is, I don't know if I can write W with this marker, guys. O. And I know. Sorry. Maybe next time I'll be a bit more prepared on how to use these things. And this will be our A. Way of own, way of another. Is this a clearer picture or not compared to the 1 dot that you wanted to make an action for previously? So you can actually see what the ship is doing. Until this point, before you can say, I would do this or I will do that, you need to first ascertain, what is happening. Take series of compass bearing to ascertain if risks of collision exist. Does risk of collision exist here? That's another question. Maybe you'll be able to join it, join your OA. Now there are arrows. I'm not going to draw the arrows now. With this, you can see what is your CPA, your time to CPA, and if risk of collision exists. Now you can take action with the rules. So again, what I intend to do with this is just to have an introduction into radar plotting, a bit of Rule 19 has to start flowing in now because we don't have too much time. We have to do everything because on the ship we do everything at the same time. All right. So I don't want you to see one point and just jump into it and get excited. No, I won't be able to sleep at night as a captain if you're my second mate or third mate or chief mate and you tell me, oh, one point I'm just going to auto starboard, I'm going to do this. No. So there are ways to answer the questions that sound professional, that sounds like you know what you're doing as well, okay, and will give confidence in answering the questions. If you don't, then I'll start thinking, okay, what rule do you want to follow? And you say, oh yeah, I'm going to follow Rule 13. What is Rule 13? Tell me Rule 13. Now you're digging yourself a hole and you might not come out of it. Okay, so this is what I was hoping that we get from this point. At this point, let me ask if Captain Busayo will want to add something. I promise that this will not take more than an hour today, so that next class we can be interested in coming as well. So, Captain Busayo, do you have anything for us today?
No, not really, sir. I think you've answered everything. I just want to say to the student that when you're answering, even though you are correct, you are not answering and being confident about your answer, you might just be digging a hole because the examiner might look like you are not sure. So the examiner might start asking you where again that you are speaking from. Also, for the radar plotting, I see one of the students was really trying to get it right, but we also need to make use of terminologies. So for instance, on this radar plotting now, if we see the first of all one dot, the next thing we need to tell the examiner is first of all, we need to ascertain if the risks of collision exist. And that is why we need to take a series of compass bearing. Those terminologies help the examiner to really know that you are really rooted in the rules of the road. You've said it all, sir. Yes. You are muted.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Captain Sayo. Does anybody have a particular question on what we've discussed today? You know? And if you have, please just raise your hand, so I will call you. And for the sake of people that are just joining, I was discussing with Captain Busayo. I will also discuss with him after this and Captain Oliver to see what other classes they can take. Captain Busayo does rules of the oral prep one-on-one with the candidates. So what we might do is to get him on the Zoom as well, so that the person on the odd seats will know themselves and other people can sit in as audience, so you can hear the questions and the answers. And I think that will be very, very useful. I think, yeah, it will be useful for every one of us to at least you have a simulation of that. Captain Oliver, if you're still there, do you have something to add to today's class before we end?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Captain.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't have anything to say. Everything has been perfect. Everything went well. We are all learning, obviously, and with time, I mean, the students will come up to speed, and I believe by the end of all this exercise and all this program, we'll all be in top gear, you know, well prepared and all that for our oral examinations. Nothing too hard for now. My boss has taken care of everything, so I'm glad we are all learning well. Thank you. I've learned a thing or two as well. You know, nobody ever finished learning and all that. We're all still learning. I'm learning as well. So well done, guys, for those that attempted, those that were not able to get it right. Don't be discouraged. With more studies and more reading, obviously we'll all get it right in the next class. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, boss. I appreciate that. Okay, so guys, there are oral reports coming in there. I will also be dropping some of the notes, handwritten notes, yes, that some of myself, that I and a couple of my colleagues took when we were doing this oral prep, because it's navigation, it's certificates also will come up in your COC. I will be sending you the link to the syllabus. If you have your syllabus, maybe for the one in Nigeria, for the one in Ghana, please share it there so that we can see it. I'm using the UK syllabus. That's the one I know. But if you have the link, please let me see, and we can see what is different, and so that we can accommodate that as well. Okay, guys. Anybody has a particular question or a comment, please don't be shy, just ask, please. For me, it's better we make the mistake here than to make it in class. We know how expensive these things are, and we don't want to do. But anyway, in absence of anybody raising a hand, I would say this. I want us to be professional, guys. I want us to take professionalism to another level.
Hello, Cap, please, I have one question, please.
Okay, answer, please go ahead. And Asa?
Okay, yes, Asa Sunday, yes, sorry. Please, you talked about when you were talking about the resolving storm, you talk about the low pressure above 5-degree latitude.
Yep.
Okay, what about if the low pressure is below, not above 5 degrees? What about if it's below 5 degrees, please? I didn't get that.
Okay, so let me go back to that screen so that it's easier for, let me go back to our whiteboard. So yes, so I talked about tropical revolving storm, low pressure, above 5 degrees of latitude, all right, in the north. So also it's above 5 degrees of latitude in the south. So just imagine 5 degrees north, the equator, and so can I draw the circle here? Let me draw a small circle so that we can still use the space, okay? So that's a circle, and that's, say, the equator. If you draw a perfect circle, you need to check yourself into an hospital. That means something is wrong with you. By hand, anyway. All right, I'm joking. I don't know if what I said is true or wrong, but it's a joke. So theoretically, you can see that this part, looking at this is 5 degrees north, 5 degrees south, and that's the equator, okay? This part can be considered like a straight, like a flat surface. It's not flat completely, but it can be considered like a flat surface. And what that means is that, the Earth is revolving, right? Let me see. Let me look for something practical to do it. Okay. So have you seen this bike race they do in a like a round, like a hole bike race? They start on the surface and they go very fast, and because they can go very fast, they can go on the wall. Have you seen that? Have you seen anything like that before? So something.
Yes, I have. I have seen it before. Yes.
You've seen that before. All right. So now there's something called Coriolis force. Coriolis force has very minimal effect in these areas. So because of that, we will not have enough ingredients, if I use that word, enough factors for the TRS to survive, because something needs to make it move. All right, something needs to make it move. So most times a TRS will go, let me have a free drawing. So a TRS will, if it forms somewhere here, it will go like this. I've started giving the answers to my assignments. If it was somewhere in the south hemisphere, it will probably go like that. So the Coriolis force has very minimal effect here to keep it going. So that's why we don't have TRS in places like Nigeria. Just imagine Nigeria as a TRS with everything that we have. It's not been funny at all. So I'm not saying that we have not been able to survive our electricity problem. I'm just saying that we should not have TRS to it. Anyway, so I hope nobody's laughing. Don't laugh. Don't laugh on our country like that. What do you mean? Okay, so that's why we don't have TRS between in those places. So that's 5 degrees north, that's 5 degrees south, and the equator. Hope I answered that question.
Yes, thank you very much, Captain.
Thank you too. Thank you too. So as I was saying, I want everybody to be professional. Start from this week on board. Take the job with pride. I see our pilots, marine pilots, and I think they're doing a very fantastic job. And I see the pride in what they're doing. I want the seafarers also to have that pride. You know, when you're going for your maintenance, yes, you're going to do maintenance. Yeah, you can easily just write that it's been done, but do it with pride, because the way we pick one side of the stick is the same way we pick all the side of the stick, all the stick itself. So that will help you to know there's pride and you want to learn, you want to do more. You know, don't just gist around on the bridge. Pick up a book. Somebody's been picking the Miner's Handbook. Pick your Aruhar. Pick your Solars. Solars is a very interesting book. LSA Manual is a very interesting book. You won't believe it until you start reading it. And again, when you start reading this book, it is natural for you to fall asleep. Yes, you read yourself into sleep, no problem. When you continue doing it, you read yourself out of sleep. So, but please, guys, I want us to be professionals. I want people to say, yes, you know, that person, it will do the job perfectly. It's painful, but the reward is when we do it properly, all right? So thank you very much to everybody that has come today. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things. Any question, please add it on the group. Don't be shy. Nobody is going to condemn you for asking any question. No stupid question. All right. And that's it for the day. So everybody's shy. Why? We should take a screenshot of people that are in the meeting today. Yes, Pilot Otobong, I see you. For sure, I've not said hello to you. Asaya, I've spoke to you today. Hayola, greetings to you. Judith, yes, I heard your voice a little bit. Captain Isaac, Loye, and Techno. All right. So thanks to everybody that came. We'll do. Let me just do. How do I do screenshot on this thing? I'm not used to modern facilities. Okay, I did. Oh, Daniel, is your hand raised? Oh, okay. Without that, so we will take. Solomon is just coming back again. So we will take this. We'll call this the end of the session today. I will keep the recording on the platform on YouTube so that we can share it again or listen to it again if we want to. And next class, okay? There's some charts. What are people charting? Click to join, I guess. First, I can learn. Okay. Volume on my phone. All right, so that's fine. So thanks very much for everybody. Have a nice time. And next time you're coming again, please come with a bottle of beer or gin or palm wine or
wine
or something. Okay, don't make it too serious. Don't make it too serious. All right. Thank you. Have a nice one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
thank you
Thank you, everyone.
thank you
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.